Welcome to stage 4. It was nice to have Ben in the commentary yesterday, but it took way too long to edit, and you got to download and upload. It's not even the editing as much as everything else. I think for my own sanity, I'm going to have to do most of these solo, or I'm not going to get on my own bike. If you want me to not enjoy the Tour de France, the best way to do that is to make it so I'm busy editing videos all day and I don't get to ride my bicycle after the podcast is up. So when I get a rest day, I'll think of guests, but otherwise I'm going to rely on you folks to watch it with me and contribute in the comments. Today's stage, I'm going to be my own sponsor again today. Today's stage is brought to you by Phil's Cookie Fondo, Malibu, October 28, 29. When I was a bike racer, I'm not sure if folks know the history. I was like the cookie guy for reasons that I can't exactly explain, at least not succinctly. Folks would bring cookies to me at the finish line. I would finish the race or at the beginning race, whatever, and there'd be people standing outside the team bus with plates of cookies. So when I retired, I had the idea of I'm going to put on a bike ride and I'm going to give the cookies back to the people. So we have end of October, Malibu. Malibu also, that's the other part of this ride, is literally, I can't say it's the best place in the world to ride a bike, but I can say it's like in the tie for the top 20. No one's ever been here and been like, oh, there's better. The incredible views, awesome climbs. So Phil's Cookie Fondo, it's not a race, it's just like a really fun bike party for 2 days with some awesome people. End of October, we're doing a 4th of July kind of sale, so the price goes up $50 in a couple days. So if you sign up now, philsfondo.com, get registered. The cookie camp is in March. That's like the exclusive, kind of fancier, we hang out experience. This is just like the mass big party with awesome food and bikes and cookies and good times for a whole weekend. So appreciate folks checking that out. Some quick notes from yesterday. My feeling that Wout was robbed was I certainly wasn't unique in that. Wout seemed to be nice about it, given that he had like I guess half a tantrum the day before. He wasn't as mad. So if we're judging it on Wout's mood, yesterday's stage was not a crime. Jacobs had an interview that I thought he put it pretty well. His point was that you've got 8 of the best sprinters in the world here, and what they're making it come down to in the finale isn't just who's the best sprinter, it's who's taking the risks in the lead out with 800 meters to go. So that is kind of a bummer. This is an inner conflict for me. I see all sides of the safety debate. On the one hand, like obviously there shouldn't be a big pole in the middle of the road in the last turn or whatever. On the other hand, the rider who comes around that turn and sees that pole and gets around it safely and has the correct instincts, like that guy deserves to win something. So obviously that's an extreme example that should and has never quite happened. But that is sort of the point that, one part of sprinting is being the fastest guy in the finale. The other part is the bumping and the positioning and the instinct and the speed and all that stuff kind of combined. And if you're the rider who leads it out, if you're the first guy in the last, 200 meters, your advantage is that everyone has to get around you and you can sort of control which side you go to, or, as long as you're not hooking dudes, it's fair play. So I'll do the Armchair race organizer segment real quick, which is if I was a race organizer, I would put the next finish on like a wide open airport runway just to prove the point that the sprinters would still find a way to use up the entire road and there would still be one crash. I believe that the riders are right, that it should be safe, and I believe that the race organizers are right and that there's just no way they can make it safe. Today's stage, I'm not going to lie, was even more of a snooze than yesterday's. There was less, it was a little bit gloomy out, so there's clouds, the drone shots didn't even make up for it. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of tempted to just upload yesterday's video and podcast again, especially given that Philipsen won, and just is a copy-paste. Why should I even sit here and do this? Some things I noticed, the green jersey is still green, but it changed color. It's like a deeper green. I don't like it. Bring it back. Fix it. I do appreciate the comments, folks telling me to use the NBC World feed. I didn't do that today, but I will. There were a couple of gems on my feed. There were ads. It was a shingles medication today, and people wonder why cable TV is in trouble. Well, now it's like making me itchy. I've seen so many shingles ads. No matter what feed, people are complaining about the announcers, and I have to just defend that in general. That is just a hard job, especially a stage like today. I just don't know how you talk for 5 hours. You just end up, as you saw, like, for sure every feed was doing a lot of blabbing about whatever castle they're passing by and Armagnac, vineyards, etc. It's a no-win. For sure the riders in the pack are even bored just trying to make conversation on a stage like today. Well, of course, it is the riders' fault that the stage was slow and boring. there was an intermediate sprint, so they didn't let the early break go until pretty late. It all kind of stayed together, which made it just that kind of one notch watching paint dry. But still important. It makes sense, and it was sort of good to see Philipsen showing himself the dominant sprinter at this point. Like Cav's still up there, but Philipsen won that. I did a little bit of talking with the directors and the team cars today. Nothing interesting there. One observation I had, good seatbelt use by the team directors. I've never seen them without the seatbelt, which you'd think there's a fair bit of getting in and out in the mechanics. So good on you folks for that. One little gem from the NBC coverage today was Van de Velde talking about how he was teammates with Luis Leon Sanchez in 2004. I just love that. That would have been, well, there's a few reasons to love that. One, that was Liberty Seguros. Luis Leon Sanchez was later suspended for being involved with Operation Puerto. He wasn't caught with anything, but he was like on the list. And that was when he was on Team Blanco. Remember Team Blanco? So that was Rabobank didn't have Rabobank as a sponsor anymore, so just went called Blanco, blank, no sponsor. And then that actually turned into some team that turned into, that's Jumbo-Visma. That's like the same, I guess the same like LLC at this point. It's funny, in my 20s, it was super tough because a lot of these Operation Puerto guys who couldn't get a contract in Europe would come over and sort of beat up on young, clean Americans like myself. And it was torture then because they were so good. And then when I retired, I was still bitter at some of that, where it's just like, I can't believe, this guy has a contract. There's a space for him in the sport, and there's no space for me. That was always tough. Now we're 10 years removed from me racing against Mancebo. Mancebo is still racing. He's 47 years old. He's on a team called Matrix Power Tag that I've never heard of. God knows what he's doing. So now it's respect to Luis Leon Sanchez, respect to Mancebo. The bike racing math segment today is how many years do you have to be out of your suspension, and then how many years old do you have to be? There's some kind of math there that I'm no longer mad at your doping history, or I just respect because I'm sitting here in a chair and you're actually still doing the thing. All right, so today's stage, 184K. When I first turned it on today, because there was no breakaway, I thought it was like a rider's protest that was happening, and then I figured out the time bonus thing. It was rainy, it's gloomy. It's hard to on an easier stage like today, folks want to sort of catch up on food and make sure they're hydrated. It's really hard to remember to drink your electrolyte, your mix, whatever, when it's rainy out, when it's a little bit cold. I saw a lot of wind vests going on. The two guys off the front today, let's get their names right, Benoit Cosnefroy and Anthony Delaplace. Say their names because that was very nice of them, because they didn't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. You know that you're going to get caught, and they didn't even let them. They went so late. They didn't even let it get much over a minute. So a real kind of pointless breakaway. Shout out to, but they got their TV time. I guess one take I had from the last couple of days is Armchair team really doesn't have a lot of ambitions, because they've both been in the throwaway breaks that, the combative award and the you're getting caught. So they must not have a lot of ambition in this tour. They're setting their sights pretty low. Quick shout out, Matteo Jorgensen on Movistar. He was, work smarter, not harder. He got a lot of TV time by being last in the pack. He was tail gunning a fair bit of today, which is fine on a day like today, as long as you get to the front when you need to. But he was last, so you saw a lot of Matteo's butt, which is just a way easier way to get on TV than being off the front. So respect. And in the finish, there was a lot of talk all day about how the finish was going to be sketchy, and they were right. It was sort of a bummer of a finish, just like a lot of sweeping turns, and it was all kind of orchestrated by fencing. Where I saw Vingegaard was like second wheel with 2K to go, and I feel like he was looking around like, I don't really want to be this far up, and then there was a crash like right behind him, so he was right to be in that. But when it's one of those where like the GC guys have to be up front that late, it just sort of sucks for everyone. It was kind of a bummer just to see how it swept around. But at the very end, the best guy wins. There was a perfectly timed lead out from Van der Poel, leading out Philipsen. He nailed it. Caleb Ewan right up there. So Jacobsen did go down, so he misses out again. Cavendish, you could see, like, he never even got to start his sprint. He was on the wrong side, and guys were moving up, and by the time he started sprinting, it was too late for him. So I would say mishap of the day was just like the weird roller coaster last 2K. I don't know what that was, and dudes are everywhere. The pavement was a little bit damp, just bikes flying around, dudes on the ground. That was a bummer to watch a few hours, and these guys are pedaling for hours and positioning for then that sort of crapshoot roll the dice finale. Armchair team director. I did notice Wout was not up there in the finale. They had a guy putting Vingegaard up front, so that shows their priorities, which we know their priorities, and that should be their priorities. But they're making sure that Vingegaard is safe before they give Wout a chance to win the stage. It's either, I don't know if they have 4 guys dedicated to the field sprint and 4 guys dedicated to the GC. For sure, there's someone staying with both of those dudes all day. But their head is in the right place, in my opinion. And again, like kind of a bummer for Wout to miss out, but cry him a river. If I was watching in person today, where would I want to be? I don't know, somewhere side of the road, maybe someone with a camper and a top to it, a little shell, an umbrella, Armagnac, something along those lines. Today's unanswerable hypothetical question: what if it was a clean sprint to the finish? I would say Cavendish takes it. I think you put all those guys in a straight line, even lead outs, fair, whatever. That's not how the bike race works. But I felt like Cavendish had the legs, and today he tried to turn it on and sort of got blocked. I would say don't even watch the stage today. It was gloomy. You don't even get like the pretty drone shots, the nice footage that you usually get. And then part of me wants to say like watch the final 5K, but the last K was a bummer. There's dudes everywhere, but it wasn't like explosive, dramatic crash. It was just like, oh, that guy's out, and it's sort of just embarrassing. The last couple K for the riders, for the folks who fought for position, and then for the spectators who sat there and spent 5 hours waiting for whatever that was. Tomorrow, stage 5, we'll have some big climbs. Actually, tomorrow looks like a GC day. There will be some time loss. There will be some stuff going on. One of the climbs is actually pretty close to the finish. There is a descent to the finish, so like a mountaintop finish. But tomorrow's stage will definitely be worth watching. I would say get some chores done today, skip it, get some work done, and tomorrow be ready to kind of watch. But thanks for checking it out. philsfondo.com. Sign up. Join me in Malibu this fall, and we'll see you tomorrow.